everyone, friends and furs of all species. I'm Daisy here, and we're back with another episode of Winds of Change. Now, last time, we were able to make it to alerenthia. We met with Vivien, who is actually a male, not female, so that was a little bit of a shock, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Now, here's where the conflict comes in. We can either choose Drako, who is the obvious right choice from a statistical standpoint, or we could choose Vivien, who is not going to be much of a boon when it comes to manpower, but Ulric is now Vivien's champion, so basically we're screwed and we have to choose Vivien. So, but, you know, I'm not really 100% mad at it. I might have chose him anyway, so, like, it's whatever. Anyway, we're on our way to the castle for the party. Oh shit, we enter the castle gates, and to my surprise, I see trees, like back at home. There's grass too, almost as green as the grass back in Valenorth. I have no idea how Drako got this here, but I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
Wow, this is incredible. I know you said he was rich, but this is crazy. I've never seen such a fancy place. Not in my entire life.
Yeah, no shit. Domek steps forward, clearly amazed as well.
So this is where Drako lives. It seems a bit excessive, don't you think? I prefer our tunnels. A lot more secretive.
We're rebels. They're not. They don't have to hide.
Alerenthia is all about showcasing your power. Most rulers add a wing or two to the castle during their reign. It's only going to get bigger and bigger with each passing year.
Damn.
Unless, of course, Vivien takes over. He's not fixated on that kind of stuff.
I can't imagine it getting much bigger, to be honest. What does one ruler need to do with all that space?
Well, he has a large army as well. Larger than Vivien's. But don't let that sway us. I think you've seen enough to know that this place needs changing.
Right, of course. So what, do we just march right in? I don't see any guards or security.
I look around and he's right. I just see a lot of party goers. They're all sipping some sort of alcohol and they look at peace. I suppose this is one way to stop the people from fighting back. I notice a large man exit the castle and slowly approach us. He's not carrying any weapons, so I doubt he's some sort of security. He looks intimidating, of course, but that's about it. Is this Westy?
I'll take care of this, just like before. We can't risk slipping up in this castle. One misstep, and everyone will be after us.
We all step back, trusting Ulric's word. He takes a few steps forward, meeting the mysterious man. Something tells me this is Drako's guard, I just know it.
Westy, I presume. That's an interesting name, you know?
It's honestly one of the most normal names here.
It's a nickname for your information, and you must be Ulric. You sure stand out.
Yes, we come in peace, don't worry. We're here for the ball, and Drako. Is it possible to request an audience?
Oh god,
He's
it looks
a
like
busy
one
man,
of...
you know.
That voice does not match that
so
face.
Don't waste our time. Can we have an audience or not?
Westy sighs and crosses his arms.
Fine. I'll let you in to see him. He's been expecting you, you know. We've been keeping watch since the docks.
Just like Vivien's man.
Yeah, but we let him get to you first. It's not often an army comes here from the mainland. We wanted to hear his offer, so we could top it.
Fair enough. Okay, this is one thing I don't like about this game.
Drako wants our army as well. We're starting to become popular around here.
Okay, I'm gonna whatchamacallit, reload, because this shit is pissing me off. That's one thing about this game. This game has quite a few glitches.
And top it. Drako wants our army as well. We're starting to become popular around here.
Don't let that get to your head, Ulric. You're just as disposable to him as Vivien. You just happen to be both disposable and strong.
Yeah?
You might want to work on your public relations skills.
Yeah. A little bit
Look
to
at
be
this
desired.
ball and then say that to me again. That's right, you can't. Now let's get going. I'll be inside the gates when you're ready.
He walks away, leaving Ulric to turn back to us. So it seems everyone has a use for us in this place. Vivien was probably right. Drako would use us to fight him.
Well, that makes things easier, doesn't it? This is going to go exactly like we expected. Let's just help Vivien and get this over with.
I could have sworn in the last section Vivien was spelled with an A, but I'm probably wrong.
Drako has a bigger army, but Vivien has a brighter future. And that's what we were fighting for, remember? A better future. It might be a bit harder to win, but we can still do it.
Everybody nods, agreeing on this unanimously. Makes sense, since they didn't want to fight Ulric. But ultimately, the final decision would be up to me.
This seems to be going pretty well. I hope we're not walking into a trap.
What the fuck is up with Dominic and saying this jinx-ass shit every single time? Every episode, he says some whack-ass shit.
Drako wouldn't try anything during his ball. This is about making the people happy, not scared. Let's hear him out and get this over with for good.
Sure, sounds good to me. On your mark, Monarch.
They all spread out and start looking around the area. Dominic was right. Everything seems to be going so well. And how did that work out last time? We deserve it after what we went through. That's what I think. It's crazy to think that within a few days we'd be attacking Balteus. We couldn't waste any time. We'd go right after securing this alliance. But I think back to the moment on the ship where I touched the blade. I wanted it to show me our victory, and it showed me nothing. Pushing forward in spite of that, that was the definition of hope. If there was anything that could help us win this war, it was that hope. Motherfucker, don't steal from freaking Danganronpa, man. They own hope. Okay, so there's no books, no talking to nobody, nothing. So why is this a whole stop? Okay. Throne room. The throne room is crowded and full of people partying. Normally, I imagine this would be reserved for Drako alone. But right now, open to everyone, it's almost like a big ballroom. A man sits on his throne watching the people as if it entertains him. That must be Drako. I scan the room and I notice Vivien in a corner. Since no one knows what he looks like, he must blend in perfectly. He must have snuck ahead of us while we were talking back at the gates. I guess all the pieces were in place. This ball was about to get interesting. I wonder how many people here were part of Vivien's insurrection. Misty stands beside Drako, and I see them whisper to each other. A few moments later, Drako stands up, eyeing down me and my comrades. I didn't notice how tall and imposing he was until he stood up, almost a match for Ulric.
Silence.
That's Drako? Dope. His deep voice echoes through the entire throne room, and everybody stops talking. As they turn to him, as if out of fear, and await his next words. But I know what they'll be. He knows who we are, and with Vivien here, it's likely that he's ready to make a move.
We have those who would disturb the peace among us. Guards, lock the doors. We have some business to take care of.
I'll say this much, he doesn't look like what I expected him to look like. He claps his hands once in a commanding gesture. Soon after, a group of people close the throne room doors. They carry no weapons and are disguised as partygoers.
Now, how should we deal with those who disturb the peace? Watching them starve in the cells doesn't do much for me anymore.
The crowd starts shouting a bunch of potential punishments. Drako laughs, clearly enjoying all the horrible ideas thrown his way.
I say we hear them out and treat them in kind. So tell us, why did you come here today?
I take a step forward in response, but then Drako looks the other way, towards Vivien. I knew it. Fixing his view to the corner of the room, I knew he wasn't talking to me. He had Westy follow us. Of course he knows what Vivien looks like now, because they were going to top this offer, so they must have seen us talking to him.
Vivien.
Everyone looks towards the corner, and Vivien scoffs. Moving forward, he stands in the center of the room.
Drako.
Why does Vivien look more like Drako than Drako?
You come here on my day of celebration to challenge me. It is an insult to both me and all of these proud Alerenthians. Looking deep into our core, you say we're not good enough. We honor the traditions of the ancients, as we should. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. You want to tear us apart. You want to create a nation that's weak, just like the mainland.
No, you've got it all wrong. Lack of strength is not a weakness. The unity of the mainland, their shared ideals, that's true strength. You stand here, alone, victim to your incessant squabbling.
Vivien takes a few steps towards the throne with an intense passion. I could tell that this is something he'd really fight with his life for.
We yield to no one while they are docile slaves of the triumperant. They crush the mainlanders under their heel, who ask no questions at all. Alerenthia is a free land. We make our own choices, and we hold the power.
Pro pushes me aside and steps forward, standing beside Vivien. Ulric reaches out to stop him, but he's not quick enough.
Then help us gain our freedom.
What? All eyes diverted our way, and even Vivien seems surprised.
We've come here seeking an alliance. We're not all mindless slaves, you know?
Isn't this supposed... I was thinking that we were supposed to have this conversation before and in private, but then I figure we'd have the conversation in private after they establish that they're going to have a fight, but okay.
An alliance. And what can you offer me? You look as if I could crush you with one hand.
I'm stronger than you think. We all are. We grew up alone on the streets of Mazeo. If we weren't strong, we'd be long dead by now.
You? On the streets of Mazeo? My apologies. That is quite respectable. You must be part of the Monarch's crew.
Yes, and we've come to seek your aid. You keep talking about how strong you are, and help us take down those who claim godhood.
Everyone watches in awe as this turns into a standoff.
And what do I get in return?
I mean, how can you beat that bragging right? Pro steps forward, confidence radiating from the way he moves.
I will be your champion.
What?
For some of our forces. Together we can crush Vivien's pathetic insurrection. Allow us this chance to prove our strength as worthy allies.
What? He kneels down, offering his loyalty to Drako. What was he doing? He's playing right into Draco's hand. Westy told us that Drako needed our army. He's only playing dumb. Drako steps down the stairs leading to his throne. He stays far away from Vivien and Pro, but they are now leveled.
What an unconventional turn of events. Vivien, you were seeking a challenge, yes?
Yes, at the break of dawn, I will allow you your final night of revelry.
And who will fight as your champion?
Ulric.
He motions back towards Ulric, who steps forward. Standing beside Vivien, his loyalty and stance is clear.
I see.
Drako eyes Pro up and down.
And what do they call you?
They call me Pro, Your Excellence. It would be my honor to fight with you in the Colosseum. I offer my life and the life of our forces to your cause.
Bitch, when? Like, do you have the say over this? I step forward, ready to object to these events, but Drako speaks first.
I accept your offer, Pro. Vivien isn't worth using my own men, but you lack the authority to make this pledge.
He looks straight at me, eyeing the blade on my back.
That decision lies with the monarch. Help me defeat Vivien, and I will offer you my might. Go against me, and I cannot guarantee your survival.
This is all happening so fast, but I know that's Drako's plan. He wants us to fight his battle for him. I don't even know if he's trustworthy. But Pro, in his haste, put me in an almost impossible position to manage. If I side with Vivien Ulric, we'd have to fight Bro and Drako. Drako would have our forces as backup, while Vivien would have his. This was a fight to the death, so major losses seemed unavoidable. This battle would likely happen regardless of my support. So not picking a side would only harm the cause in the long run. But choosing Pro over Ulric, or vice versa, could hurt our bond. I closed my eyes and clenched my fists together. I needed to stop thinking about this so personally. People would die either way. This is war. It's unavoidable. So the real question is, what kind of future do I want for alerenthia? Do I want Drako to remain in power and for things to remain unchanged? Or do I want Vivien to overthrow the nation and ally alerenthia to the mainland? No, I need to detach myself even further. No Pro, no Ulric. No Drako, no Vivien. Just alerenthia. That's all.
Monarch, what is your decree? Fight with me and prove yourself worthy of my help, or fight with Vivien against thousands of years of tradition?
Oh, if I consult my advisor, it's gonna be Howl saying Drako. And if I had picked, Dominic, it would have said choose, Vivien. Let me see.
Siding with Drako is the most sound decision. His victory is almost guaranteed, and he's a large army. Remember that no one has managed to beat him in the Colosseum. What chance do Vivien and Ulric have? We fear that this may be the end for those two. This is essentially a choice between life and death. We do not believe that Vivien can defeat Drako. Let alerenthia stay the same, Monarch. It is the right choice. Draco's power will be essential in the coming attack on Balteus.
They've made it abundantly clear I'm supposed to change its ways, so I take a deep breath before announcing my choice. We would help Vivien in exchange for the forces he could offer. We would defeat Drako and give the nation a new and bright future. But that meant we'd be fighting against Pro in the Colosseum. He's so foolishly pledged his support, I have no idea how to react. I never expected insubordination and borderline betrayal from this.
Our lives were on the line. I had to make the right choice. I'd rather live with Drako than sacrifice myself for Vivien. Ulric has the wrong idea. What he's doing is suicide.
Everybody starts to part ways, but the doors remain locked. People try to open them, but Drako quickly makes them stop.
None of you shall leave. I wouldn't want you running away.
He claps his hands and a bunch of servants approach him.
Private quarters will be arranged for those involved in the fight. Tomorrow morning, you will all be escorted to the Colosseum. For tonight, Enjoy the ball. I think you'll find it quite exquisite.
After that, risen by 5. Oh, great. After that, everybody goes back to enjoying the festivities. Regardless of our allegiance, we all gather up in the center of the room. I never expected that this chain of events would get so complicated. I did! And Drako handled it in such a calm manner, too. It's almost as if he was confident in his ability to win. Bro, he's been ruler for like 40 years! Uncertainty, confusion, and fright soon fill my mind. He played us. He provoked Pro into a pledge of his loyalty. At that point, it was already too late. Pro made up his mind. Unknowingly, we all became pawns in the fight for Alerenthia's future. I should probably roam around the ballroom until it's time to rest. I can feel out the situation and get feedback from my comrades. That would be the key to helping me sort out this ongoing mess in my head.
Pro, what do you think you're doing? I had a plan, and now you've ruined everything.
Sorry, Ulric. It just made sense. This is a fight to the death, right? Drako has never lost. I had to do it.
I had everything under control.
It's not your job to control everything. You need to get that through your thick skull.
You're going to regret this.
Regret? I can live with that. It's better than dying for nothing. Drako has killed stronger men than you.
Damn.
I don't think he's going to lose this battle. That's why I want to be on his good side.
So you're just going to suck up to him? Get out of my sight, Pro. You're pitiful.
That went about as well as I thought.
Hey,
oh my lord.
Drako?
Yes?
Oh my lord.
This is a really nice castle you've got here.
Thank you.
I was admiring it from the outside. I noticed it's built in a really interesting way. It's pretty bumpy. Lots of places for footholds.
What?
Footholds?
Yeah, like places to rest your feet. I was actually going to ask you about that. Was it built that way intentionally? For climbing?
Every ruler adds to this castle in their own way. I've been in power for several decades by now. You're the only one who's ever noticed my addition.
Nice.
You made it that way? Does that mean you like to climb too?
Yes, it does. That's how I start my day. There's no workout quite like it.
Damn.
Do you use some special equipment? I got some metallic claw-like things in Museo.
I have
No,
no use for
yeah.
such things. I prefer to go it alone, without safety. It makes you think about every little move. One accident and you fall to your death. You don't need those claws. Just climb smarter. A handicap takes away your sense of achievement.
Damn, he's kind of right.
I think I'll need them, actually. I'm planning to climb the Grand Tree in Valinor. If you saw it, you'd understand the necessity.
The Grand Tree. Does it live up to its namesake?
Yeah, it does. It's probably the ultimate challenge. It overlooks the entire world, you know?
Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps I should pay Valinor a visit one day. I never thought the mainland could provide me with a challenge.
Oh, it can. Trust me. I've been climbing my entire life. Want to hear about more fun places?
I can spare some time, yeah.
Huh. That was interesting. Any thoughts?
I'm glad you sided with Ulric and Vivien. It's important to change this nation for the better. I just wish Pro didn't have to open his big mouth. There's a very real chance that he'll die tomorrow. We've seen Ulric fight. I think he'll win this battle. I just hope it's Drako that falls, not Pro. That sounds like a horrible thing to say, I know. But we've all grown so close since we met at Peregrino. I'm scared this clash of ideals will tear our bonds apart.
Bro, let's just be real. That's not a horrible thing to think.
I need to get my mind off that or I'll go crazy. If you need me, I'll be in the ballroom down the hall. I heard they have a live band. I love music.
Bro.
Hey. I think you sided against me. In the future, I'll remember that. I thought we were friends, you know?
You kind of, butt-fucked us.
When the fighting starts, I won't hold back. I just want to be on Draku's good side, you know? If he ends up winning, I still want to form an alliance.
I accept that as an answer.
But if Vivien wins? Well, I don't know. That means either myself or Drako would be dead. I'm not going to think about that. Let's go check out the ball.
We believe you made the wrong choice, Monarch. Drako has yet to lose any fights in the Colosseum. This fight doesn't appear to be any different. The strength he could have offered was incredible too, but instead you decided to choose the weaker man. Ideals aside, choosing weakness makes no sense. Who cares about a changed Alerenthia if we lose the war? We could give Vivien what he wants, and then march to Mount Death's. Strength is what wins wars, not the desire for change, and not hope. We will be exploring the castle if you need us. The ballroom is our next stop, so we can meet there. In the meantime, enjoy this ball as much as you can.
Why is it giving me an X instead? Oh, wait.
Hey.
My bad.
I'm grateful for your support. I really am. I've always told you how much I want to change this place. And now I'm getting the chance. This almost feels like a dream. I'm not a fan of what Pro did, though. I hate to say this, but I'm prepared to kill him. If I see an opening, I have to take it, Monarch.
I will not blame you.
I think I need a few drinks after all of this. Truth be told, I'm still a little confused about everything. But I assume that confusion will wane when the battle starts. I'm going to go check out the rest of the castle. I'll see you around. Remember, party responsibly.
When somebody tells you that, that means they are about to be the one that gets shit-faced. When I enter the ballroom, I notice my comrades scattered about. They're all enjoying themselves and having the time of their lives. Drako spared no expense. This was fancier than anything I've ever seen. There was a live band playing music that's pleasant to the ear. Couples sway about on the dance floor while others feast on the buffet. An open bar attracts many patrons. There's something for everyone here. My comrades notice me and give me smiles as they enjoy the party. As I'm about to step forward, somebody bumps into me from behind. It was clearly on purpose to grab my attention. I quickly turn around.
I hope you're prepared to fight, Monarch. You'll be among the soldiers during tomorrow's fight. Regardless of your allegiance, I'm excited to see your abilities. I would be honored to know that you gave it your all. Either way, I thought it would be best to come meet you here. You're a guest in my castle, not a prisoner as it may have seemed. It's just tradition for challenges. They're mostly issued at the castle. It ensures that the people involved in the fight can't back out. We take these battles very seriously, as you could tell.
Yeah. I nod, that much was clear.
I hope we haven't issued any offense.
You can keep me. Oh my god, would I really? Of course not, everything is fine. You can cut it any way we want. It is what it is, let's move on. Of course not.
I'm glad to hear it. Thank you for your cooperation. With that said, I have a ball to enjoy.
Yep. I hope you enjoy balls. He walks into the ballroom and is quickly crowded by the people. Greeting every single one, he ensures that they're all happy. He's very charismatic. Everyone painted him as a savage man. You could be both, you know. I noticed Damek and Valessa standing off to the side. They don't seem overly interested in joining the party. I didn't get their input yet, so maybe I should approach them. I take a few steps forward as not to block the entrance of the ballroom. The music gets louder, and the reverberation fills the grand room. The sight and sound combined with the utterly beautiful experience. I try to make the best of this before retiring to my private quarters. When I was ready to sleep and then fight, that's where I'd go. I couldn't delay it forever, but I could occupy myself for a bit. So no books, heart to hearts. Okay, so let's do Halen number 2. While the bodies swayed on the dance floor, Halen and Shane did a dance of their own. Weapons clashing, they sparred. It was time for Halen to put his new apprentice to the test. So far, it seems like their skill was equally matched, a deadlock of the best variety.
You put up more of a fight than Sophie ever did. Where did you learn techniques like that, Shane? It almost feels like you're the teacher in this scenario.
You pick up a lot of stuff on the streets of Mazeo. Back when I was younger, it was either fight or die. A lot of the rebels are just like me, so get used to it.
Let me guess, you all banded together after the occupation. That means if I learn your weakness, I learn theirs. A weak strategy. All sharing the same fighting style?
Well, now I know why you wanted to spar so soon, and here I thought you might be warming up to me.
Don't flatter yourself, Shane.
Then stop giving me reasons to.
Their weapons clash again, Halen's sword with Shane's daggers. He had no problem being Halen's match with such small weapons. His agility and quick thinking was more than enough to counter raw strength.
I guess Sophie wasn't much of a fighter.
He used to be, but I could tell he always held back. There was doubt in his mind, and it clouded his judgment. I trusted it would go away, but you know what happened next.
Yeah, and he's paying for his mistakes. But you can trust me, Halen. I won't let you down. Remember what I did when we were in Mazeo.
You killed your former leader, your best friend. I don't need anything else from you, Shane. That proves your loyalty almost tenfold.
Good.
Proves you're a fucking dumbass. Ooh, his stupid face. Shane sheathes his daggers, done with the sparring.
So what do you think Sophie will do next? I mean, he's no longer welcome in Balteus, right?
I saw him wandering the halls before he left. It's funny. He might actually try to seek out the blade. He was saying something about alerenthia over and over.
What makes him think it'll be an alerenthia?
Well, the rebellion will try its hardest to survive. After what we did, it makes sense that they'd flee the mainland. They can't come here, so the only other option is alerenthia.
Makes sense when you put it that way. Maybe he can regain his honor after all. But I have to ask, why aren't we going?
The rebellion will come here eventually. We have the home advantage if we sit and wait. There's no way they can overpower our army.
That's smart. So we're really doing this. We're going to end the rebellion.
And you have no thoughts about it.
And any more that may come. I sense a bright future for us, Shane. And we'll do it all. For the triumvirate.
Yeah, for the triumvirate.
The people who had your parents killed. I'm not sure if you'll know, but I don't like Shane.
Oh, this place is incredible. Drako sure knows how to throw a party. What about you, Ulric? Having fun?
Drako was my enemy, Valessa. We're practically being held prisoner. Despite that, yeah, I'm having a good time.
I could tell, actually. How many drinks is that? 5? You don't want to fight with a hangover, do you?
It wouldn't be the first time. I've taught myself to fight in any state of being. Just something you learn to do when you're as old as I am.
And how old is that?
Thousands.
Old enough. Besides, I doubt I'll have much trouble tomorrow. Even if I fought Drako while drunk, I could take him down. so don't worry about my well-being. I've got this.
Alright.
You can fight while you're drunk, too?
Of course. It actually makes things easier. Your movements are sloppy and unpredictable. That's all you need to confuse and overpower your opponent.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. That's a pretty unique fighting style. You'll be sober tomorrow, though, right?
Depends on how tonight goes. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Just go and have a good time, alright?
Alright, if you say so. This is gonna be super interesting. 2 undefeated men, locked in combat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put on a good show for you. It's like a sport. Everybody will be watching intently. You better cheer for me. I'll be listening, Valessa.
Oh, he flirting with you.
Sure.
So, Pro, are you having a good time?
Oh, let's hear
Of
this.
course. All according to plan. I know Ulric is mad, but he'll get over it. We can win this without either of us dying.
Yeah, just take out the leader, right? Ulric is stubborn, though, so be careful. I think he might actually try to kill you.
You're more right than you think, Domek. I know he would.
I've been watching him spar for years. I'll be fine. I know exactly how he operates. The best weapon is knowledge, right?
But hasn't he seen you spar for years too?
You remembered my lessons.
How could I forget? It'll help me win this battle. I know it. Make sure to cheer me on, alright?
I think I'd like to remain silent, actually. I can't be taking sides at a time like this. As long as we get an alliance, I'm happy.
Oh, come on. Not even gonna clap for me. I'll remember that when you give another speech.
I think my days of giving speeches are over, Pro. That honor belongs to the monarch now. But I'm sure they'd say the same as me.
Yeah.
Man, I hate how neutral everybody is acting. Sometimes it's alright to take a side.
Oh, I know it.
Well, it's not that I'm not taking a side. It's more like, I shouldn't gossip to you. You're a combatant. It'd affect your morale.
What an interesting way to tell me that you side with Ulric. Sometimes not saying something tells me all I need to hear.
Yeah, I'm with
Now
that.
you're just putting words in my mouth. The only person I tell is the monarch.
Interesting.
What?
You're not the first person to unconditionally trust the monarch. Perhaps I could use that to my advantage in the future.
A. Pro. A.
I think this is where I get back to the party. This whole scheming business isn't really for me, but I doubt the monarch would abuse their role for you.
You're probably right, Domek. They'd have to do it without knowing. Just imagine the swindling I could do.
Do we know how to throw parties or what?
We.
Who do you mean by we?
Our people, like the pure ones.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
Different civilizations, remember? Did the old monarchy party like this?
This line of questioning is pointless. Why do you wish to know such trivial information?
It's
Learn
what
a bit
friends
more.
do, Hal. Haven't you ever heard of hanging out? You just talk to each other about everything.
Well, the old monarchy did party. And to be honest, there isn't much difference. Do you see this as a sort of competition?
Not exactly. Well, maybe. It's always cool to know you have the most fun. Do you not compare yourself to other people?
That would be a waste of time. There is no benefit in being like other people. We simply wish to be ourselves. Unique.
Yeah.
See? This is what friends do. They just talk. Keep going, Hal. Tell me what's on your mind. You don't need a specific topic or anything.
Oh my god.
We would ask, why you consider us a friend? Does the world benefit from this conversation? Is there a purpose to this sort of interaction?
Not really.
Perhaps we should talk about the matter at hand. There is much to discuss about Vivien and Drako.
Nope, we can't talk about that. That's work stuff. We're here to unwind.
Another concept we do not understand. Every moment we waste, the enemy gets stronger.
It's not a waste, though. If our bond grows stronger, then so do we. It's important to get along with your comrades, Howl.
Very well. We will try. This party is an interesting experience. Are you having a good time, Fortame?
Aww.
There we go. Now you're doing it right. Just a few more steps and you'll be ready to dance.
We would rather die.
Ha! Same. I approach Valessa and watch her inspect the buffet table. It looks like she's having a hard time deciding what to eat. It's all free though, so I'd have some of everything. Ditto.
Why do they need to put alcohol in everything? These pastries would be fine on their own, you know. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Fair enough. She fills a plate with a few random sweets. It appears that they're all alcoholic in nature. Sounds fancy, but they're all just doused.
The locals are sure eating this stuff up, though. Call me old-fashioned, but food and drink should stay separate. If this is a delicacy around here, then alerenthia isn't really my place.
Wasn't your place in the first place. She smiles as she continues filling her plate.
But you gotta eat, right? This isn't the kind of place you want to go hungry. I never thought I'd miss some of the food back in Valenworth. But enough about that. Are you having a good time, Monarch? Aside from the whole Coliseum business, of course.
Let's see. Yeah, Drako sure knows how to throw a party. It's much better now that I'm with you. I don't most like to stay his prisoner forever. I can't believe Drako's nerve holding us here. It's alright, I suppose. Drako sure knows how to throw a party.
That's for sure. Everybody seems so happy. It almost makes you forget where we are. I never pictured Alerenthia as peaceful.
I mean, one day can change a lot. She smiles softly while eating the pastries on her plate. It isn't much longer until they're all gone. She must have been starving. I don't blame her. The journey here was taxing in every possible way.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I talked to Alex a little more on the way here. You know, to learn a little bit more about our parents.
Yeah.
Part of me was hoping to hear something positive. You know, like they were paragons of virtue or something. Thought maybe, just maybe, they were good people.
See, this is what, See, never have expectations. They'll only let you down. As she talks, the live band starts to play a bit louder. People flood to the dance floor with their partners. Valessa watches all the couples with a wide smile. She places her empty plate back on the table.
Sorry, the music kind of cut me off. Right. I was talking about our parents. I learned so much about them on the trip here.
Tell me everything I'd love to hear. She nods and smiles.
Just a quick warning, it's not the best atmosphere for this story. I mean, talking about pirates doesn't exactly fill one with joy, but I think it's important to know more about our families.
I understand that.
Like I said, I was hoping to hear some good news. I always pictured our parents as these perfect, heroic people. But it turns out they really weren't. They were bad people, Monarch.
Yeah?
I know pirates get involved in shady things, but they embraced it. Killing, stealing, smuggling, you name it. They were legends in Mazeo. They had a whole network operating for them while they were back home. That's how they managed to have a presence in both nations at once. They went to Mazeo every month or so to inspect their operations in person. Explains how they managed to raise us and balance their double lives.
Cool.
Maybe it's for the best that they passed on when they did. The village and Salus raised us. They gave us our sense of morals. I can't say I'd be too happy if I inherited the morals of our parents. They could have dragged us into the life of piracy as we grew up, too. That would be dangerous. could have died years ago, you know? If you died, then right now, the world would have no hope at all.
Yeah.
So, maybe the occupation was meant to happen. It's guided us to where we are now. Shaped us into who we've become. If we let them shape us, then I have no idea where we'd be right now.
Hell.
It's so weird, since children usually aspire to be like their parents. But right now, I'm using them as a roadmap on what not to do. All I can do is dedicate my life to being better people than them.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
fair.
that can undo some of the damage they've done. Because I know they tore families apart. They killed and robbed. Some would say that, in the end, being murdered was their justice.
Alright.
I don't think death is a good form of justice. They should have gotten a chance to make up for their crimes. With them gone, I feel like it's our job to do what they couldn't.
I mean, if that's how you feel.
So, that's something else I'm going to fight for. I'll make up for the damage our parents inflicted. I'll give the world peace, so no one has to feel pain. We'll make a world that doesn't need people like our parents. A world that treats everyone with unconditional love and equality. No one will have to live in poverty or turn to a life of crime. Nobody deserves to be a victim of circumstance. To have their life determined by the world around them? No, it's not it at all. We shape the world, not the other way around.
She looks in my eyes with overwhelming determination.
So let's shape it into something beautiful. A place where no one has to resort to being evil. I'm sure our parents were introduced to it somehow.
Yeah.
It's not like they woke up one day just wanting to be pirates. Maybe it was their parents before them, or some close friends. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? We'll make the cycle end with us.
Yeah.
And we'll start a new cycle. One of peace, happiness, and prosperity. One where our children can live full, happy lives.
Your children. I ain't having no damn kids. The music slowly comes to an end and everyone leaves the dance floor. Alyssa watches for a while before speaking again, enjoying the moment.
When we get back to Museo, I want to see their old hideout. And I'd really like it if you'd come with me, Monarch. It'll give me a sense of closure. And let me move on.
No problem.
I never thought I'd learn more about our parents in this journey. And I'm even more surprised that it's a truth I never expected. But if I could go back and never learn it, well, I wouldn't. It gives me the drive to become a better person. And it really makes me appreciate everything I have. Including you, Monarch. I could never do this alone.
She smiles and then examines the room.
I'll let you go and tend to some business, Monarch. I should probably talk to Fortum about this stuff too. He deserves to know about his parents just as much as us.
Yeah. I nod and watch her as she slowly walks away. Only she could turn a horrible truth into such contagious optimism. But she was right, we'd create a better world, where no one had to be hurt. No one has to be hurt. Valessa's, okay. Walk over to Dominic as he's standing alone in the corner of the ballroom. It looks a bit awkward, like he knows he doesn't fit in, but I don't blame him. With the story he told me last time, I knew a crowded ballroom floor would frighten him.
Hey there, Monarch. I hope you're having a good time. I mean, given the circumstances, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I can imagine it's hard to have fun when you know what's coming. Actually, forget I said that. I don't want to ruin your experience. I'm just airing my own grievances. Forgive my venting.
Nah, you good. I tell him it's fine, then stand beside him. Together we watch the patrons dance in the center of the room. They look like they're having the time of their lives while we just stand here. That's what I do in parties anyway, so...
You know, I've been thinking. I faced death back in Museo, and I'll face it tomorrow. After that, I'll just go on to face it again when we attack Balteus.
Yep.
I could die tomorrow, or the next day, or the day after. So I keep asking myself, what should I do before I die? A lot comes to mind, but a few are very important to me.
Oh?
I want to go back to where it happened, Monarch. Back to the place where I spent the last moments with my mother. I've never been back there since I grabbed that pendant. I was scared. Just thinking about that place made it seem like it was happening all over again. I can't even imagine what would happen if I went back there for real, you know? It's easy to avoid since the town square is quite large, but I'm done avoiding things.
That's good, I guess.
I could have died back in those tunnels, Monarch. Something like that really puts things into perspective. If I die, I want to make sure I've lived life to the fullest. So that means there's a few things I'd like to do. Most importantly, I'd like to go back to where I lost my mother. I don't want that place to hold power over me. I want the power. You already know about some of my other fears too, but it'd be ill-mannered of me to request your help for those. So, about Mazeo, I'd just like a good friend to be by my side.
No prob. He blushes and shuffles in place. It was clear that he meant his fear of physical contact. I could help him with his Mazeo trip, but I stopped to think about the rest.
Can you say something, Monarch? I don't know if I can handle such an awkward silence.
I enjoy every moment we spend together, even the quiet ones. Don't worry, Dominic. I'll help you put all your fears to rest. I enjoy every moment we spend together, even the silent ones. Of course,
Really?
I'll help you.
I can't thank you enough, Monarch. I just know that I wouldn't be able to do this myself. Having someone by my side makes me that much stronger.
He smiles, almost like a weight was lifted from his shoulders. It would be important for him to enter the final battle with a clear mind. When we go back to the mainland, there was no reason not to help him.
Well, that's pretty much all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing, unless there's anything else you had to say before you go.
Not really. You have a wonderful evening.
It was nice to chat with you. Come see me when we get back to the mainland. Hopefully we'll have time for some final errands.
Yep.
I'd hate to go right from here to Balteus. We need a final reprieve before we end all of this. No regrets. Just in case we don't survive the war.
He smiles. It was a grim thought, but a realistic one. If we made it to Balteus, we might not make it back home. I'd need to be content with everything I did up until that point. I leave his side and wander back to the center of the ballroom. The hours were slowly passing by. I couldn't delay tomorrow's battle forever. That thought weighs heavy on my mind as I contemplate what to do next. Okay, so I got all this. There's obviously no the dance floor is full of people swaying from side to side. Watching them celebrate with big smiles helps me relax. Even in this awful time, there could still be happiness. Okay, so I did this, all of this. Okay, let's move on. Private room. It should be nighttime. Wait, right? As soon as I get to my private quarters, I rest my blade beside the bed. I figured we would be dancing the night away, but... It feels good to get that weight off my shoulders. Too bad the relief would be no. Lamps. Bro, whoever wrote... Put down the fucking thesaurus. We don't need this shit. I sit down in the bed and think about what would be coming in the next few days. A tournament to decide the fate of Alerenthia, an alliance to help us attack up Balteus. Not even a day or two in the Colosseum battle, we'd be selling to the final battle. Would we win, or would we perish? The blade showed me nothing when I asked. I sit down on the bed and then decide not to try using the blade again. Which, by the way, I have an issue with this. Why is it that we went from, oh, you can't touch the blade at all without having a fucking seizure, to, boom, we're just able to touch it freely and control it with our mind. Like, there was zero, transfer. There was no build to that. Nothing. Just over... Boom. Now we can use it. What? It takes away a lot of the weight of the sword. The anxiety of not being able to know what almost wasn't worth it. It was supposed to do what I wanted. Was I not strong enough? The blade was so mysterious I'd probably never know. I lie down having had enough of today's events. Things were crazy. Just when I think we get to relax, we're pushed into more conflict. But this conflict has clearly proven divisive among our teams. Pro and Ulric against each other, Vivien and Drako too. Perhaps this is a lesson that casualties are unavoidable. I close my eyes and hold on to a firm resolve in my heart. No, none of my comrades would die tomorrow. They'd survive. We were all survivors, and that's what we'd continue to do forever. Oh, Lord. Instead of falling asleep, however, I find myself someplace familiar. Shit, not this again! It's the same locale I found myself in after falling asleep in Peregrino. It wasn't just some random dream. I had to be here for a purpose. All I knew that it was the triumperant's chambers. There was no doubt in my mind, but why was I here? Not only once, but twice. There needed to be a reason. The blade weighs heavy on my back, and I slowly pull it out. I can sense that it's pulsating with energy, reacting to something. I noticed that the idol at the back of their chambers, that's what it was. But why was the blade reacting to something like that? It doesn't look like any spirit idol I've ever seen. What is it? I feel a strong pull, almost like I have no choice but to approach it. This is the exact same thing. I take slow, heavy steps towards the idol, and I feel eyes upon me. Not just one or two pairs. It's almost like all of Alestia is watching me. I can sense my comrades at my back, almost as if they're encouraging me. It helps me push forward, as I feel resistance emanate from the idol. Why would I feel such a strong pull to something that doesn't want me? I push through in spite of that resistance and continue to act instinctually.
Yes, fulfill your purpose. Do what you were meant to do.
That's the triumperant's voice. Oh, really? I remember it from the last time I was here. But I had no idea what they meant by purpose. Still, I can't deny my instincts, and I keep pressing forward. It isn't much longer before I'm standing in front of the idol. It radiates pure malice and pure evil. It fills me with fright. I look down at my blade. Was I meant to destroy this? I'm confused as to why I'm doing what the triumvirate tells me to. That's the conflict that causes this dream to end and jolt me awake. I rise up in a fright, gripping my chest and panting heavily. I look over at the blade resting on my bedside. What happened? It feels as if no time passed at all, but it's already the next morning. Just what I needed. No rest before a massive battle. The fates were playing cruel tricks on me during this journey. But I had to keep going. I couldn't give in. It would be over soon. I stand up and strap the blade onto my back. As if on cue, I heard a knock at the door before it's opened. Drako steps in, not seeming to care if I was receptive of him.
It's your turn, Monarch.
My turn?
We're transporting you to the Colosseum one by one. That way you're less inclined to try and escape us. You'll be the last one, so it's almost time to fight.
Alright then.
I'd advise not wasting much time, but head to the Colosseum when you're ready. You'll be followed by myself and a few guards. Oh, and good luck. You'll need it. The entire nation will be watching and cheering, but whether it's for your victory or demise remains to be seen.
He rests his back against the wall and crosses his arms. This is really happening, a battle to decide the nation's fate. I guess I'd head to the Colosseum when I was ready to fight. Book. The book rests on the nightstand. It appears to be about Colosseum battles. Fuck. Not regular ones, though. The leadership ones. The kind of battle I'd be fighting in today. I wonder if it was placed here on purpose. We did play into Drako's hands, after all.
The evolution of tournaments. Initially, rulers of Alerenthia were decided during a simple one-on-one battle, but citizens quickly realized that this was not the best way to gauge a potential ruler's true strength. They needed to add more. This is when the champion system came into play. Each fighter would elect a champion to fight by their side. This would not only test their offensive powers, but show how they handled defensive maneuvers as well. They'd have to fight their enemy and their enemy's champion while also protecting themselves and their champion. This made battles much more fun. Later on, the reserve forces came into play. Each leader would bring a force of about 20 or 30 men into battle with them. This was to make sure they knew how to lead an army efficiently as well. What started out as simple fights to the death have evolved into a full-on sport. Leaders must display their ability to fight, to defend, and to command an army. This ensures that Alerenthia is always in the best possible hands. Only the most competent warriors can win.
Okay, so... Is it comfortable? Oh, no time to waste. You need to do that. Okay, I got the book. Seems to be the only book. Yes. Colosseum, let's go. In the next episode, so we sided with Vivien. It was the obvious right choice, even though our advisor Hal was upset. Whatever. Which is kind of weird, because I checked the corruption meter, and Hal's supposed to be the embodiment of corruption from the past. So why is it? It seems like all the choices he's telling us to make increase our purity rather than our corruption. Because I checked after we did seers instead of monarch vessels. So like, is there something I'm missing about this? Or are they just fucking with me? I don't know. Anyway, so Pro is a dick, and so is Shane. So there's that. If you want to see who wins, check us out in the next video. If you have any game suggestions or you just want to say hi, leave it in the comment section below. I'm Daisy Hyena. Catch y'all in the next vid.